Hi, welcome to Butterfly Spirit Drumming. I am Josephine, and this is the amazing
Jen. Hi, everybody. Mama P.
We are happy to be here. I'm not sure how many lives we've done so far. Do you know, Jen? At least 3 or 4?
Maybe this is 5. Maybe I can check while you're talking after.
Okay, sure. So what we like to do is share some of our gifts with everybody through Grandmother's Voice YouTube channel. And we also share it on our own personal Facebooks if we want. And our goal is just to share some inspiration, some motivation, some of our teachings. And as we have learned different songs, drumming, singing, moon ceremonies, we like to share that with you because it's very healing and it's positive energy and it's supportive as we navigate the human experience. I would like to read the Thanksgiving address. So if you just want to grab your water, your coffee, and Gail Whitlow is part of Grandmother's Voice, and she had said to me before, when I share this, that if the people want to close their eyes, you can treat it like a meditation. You don't have to, but I invite you to. The people. Today we have gathered and we see that the cycles of life continue. We have been given the duty to live in balance and harmony with each other and all living things. So now we bring our minds together as one and we give greetings and thanks to each other as people. Now our minds are one. The Earth Mother. We are all thankful to our Mother, the Earth, for she gives us all that we need for life. She supports our feet as we walk about upon her. It gives us joy that she continues to care for us as she has from the beginning of time. To our Mother, we send greetings and thanks. Now our minds are one. The waters. We give thanks to all the waters of the world for quenching our thirst and providing us with strength. Water is life. We know its power in many forms: waterfalls and rain, mists and streams, rivers and oceans. With one mind, we send greetings and thanks to the Spirit of water. Now our minds are one. The fish. We turn our minds to all the fish life in the water. They were instructed to cleanse and purify the water. They also give themselves to us as food. We are grateful that we can still find pure water. So we now turn to the fish and send our greetings and thanks. Now our minds are one. The plants. Now we turn toward the vast fields of plant life. As far as the eye can see, the plants grow, working many wonders. They sustain many life forms. With our minds gathered together, we give thanks and look forward to seeing plant life for many generations to come. Now our minds are one. The food plants. With one mind, we turn and honor and thank all the food plants we harvest from the garden. Since the beginning of time, the grains, vegetables, beans, and berries have helped the people survive. Many other living things draw strength from them too. We gather all the plant foods together as one and send them greetings and thanks. Now our minds are one. The medicine herbs. Now we turn to all the medicine herbs of the world. From the beginning, they were instructed to take away sickness. They are always waiting and ready to heal us. We are happy there are still among us those special few who remember how to use these plants for healing. With one mind, we send greetings and thanks to the medicines and to the keepers of the medicines. Now our minds are one. The animals. We gather our minds together and send greetings and thanks to all the animal life in the world. They have many things to teach us as people. We see them near our homes and in the deep forests. We are glad that they are still here, and we hope that it will always be so. Now our minds are one. The trees. We now turn our thoughts to the trees. The earth has many families of trees who have their own instructions and uses. Some provide us with shelter and shade, others with fruit, beauty, and other useful things. Many people of the world use a tree as a symbol of peace and strength. With one mind, we greet and thank the tree life. Now our minds are one. The birds. We put our minds together as one and thank all the birds who move and fly about over our heads. The Creator gave them beautiful songs. Each day they remind us to enjoy and appreciate life. The eagle was chosen to be their leader. To all the birds, from the smallest to the largest, we send our joyful greetings and thanks. Now our minds are one. The four winds. We are all thankful to the powers we know as the four winds. We hear their voices in the moving air as they refresh us and purify the air we breathe. They help to bring the change of seasons. From the four directions they come, bringing us messages and giving us strength. With one mind, we send greetings and thanks to the four winds. Now our minds are one. The thunderers. Now we turn to the west, where our grandfathers, the thunder beings, live. With lightning and thundering voices, they bring with them the water that renews life. We bring our minds together as one to send greetings and thanks to our grandfathers, the thunderers. Now our minds are one. The sun. We now send greetings and thanks to our eldest brother, the sun. Each day, without fail, he travels the sky from east to west, bringing the light of a new day. He is the source of all the fires of life. With one mind, we send greetings and thanks to our brother, the sun. Now our minds are one. Grandmother Moon. We put our minds together and give thanks to our oldest grandmother, the moon, who lights the nighttime sky. She is the leader of women all over the world, and she governs the movement of the ocean tides. By her changing face, we measure time, and it is the moon who watches over the arrival of children here on earth. With one mind, we send greetings and thanks to our grandmother, the moon. Now our minds are one. The stars. We give thanks to the stars who are spread across the sky like jewelry. We see them in the night, helping the moon to light the darkness and bringing dew to the garden and growing things. When we travel at night, they guide us home. With our minds gathered together as one, we send greetings and thanks to all the stars. Now our minds are one. The enlightened teachers. We gather our minds and greet and thank the enlightened teachers who have come to help throughout the ages. When we forget how to live in harmony, they remind us of the way we were instructed to live as people. With one mind, we send greetings and thanks to these caring teachers. Now our minds are one. The Creator. Now we turn our thoughts to the Creator, or Great Spirit, and send greetings and thanks for all the gifts of creation. Everything we need to live a good life is here on this Mother Earth. For all the love that is still around us, we gather our minds together as one and send our choicest words of greetings and thanks to the Creator. Now our minds are one. Now I'd like to hand it over to Jen to say and do or sing and drum, whatever you like.
Thank you, Josie. And Josie, thank you for sharing that Thanksgiving address. I know you talked about at the beginning that it takes a while, but that is an important space to take up, right? Those words are important, and it's good for us to hear those as we come together. And it, like you said, it's like a meditation or a grounding, right? Like our smudge or things like that. When we talk about, you had mentioned before that you wanted to talk about emotions tonight.
Yes.
And I think it's the end of Scorpio season, and Scorpio season's all about emotions. I'm not sure if you knew that connection.
No.
And when I was thinking about what you were saying, you know, the Thanksgiving address and bringing ourselves back to grounding ourselves in those parts of Mother Earth that are larger than us, like the thunder beings, like every part of creation, it can ground us, and it can maybe shift our perspective from sometimes the things that we worry about or are anxious about, or kind of, a lot of us have these thoughts running in our mind all the time, and it's the same kinds of thoughts, and it can break that pattern. So miigwech for that. I thought tonight I would sing a song for Grandmother Moon, one that I've shared before. And I learned this song from the women at Nipissing First Nation. It's called the Grandmother Moon Song, and I will put the words in the chat. It was requested of us that if we could try to put our words to our songs in the chat. So we're going to try that. And so I thought I would sing the song, and then maybe I'll talk about how Grandmother Moon helps me with my emotions. And
I would love that. Thank you.
My cycle. So I'm putting the song in the chat now, everybody, if you want to sing along. I don't know why trees didn't make it. Oh, maybe it was too long. And maybe I'll talk about why she grounds me first.
Okay.
And then I'll sing the song.
Okay.
So, you know, when I first started to become aware and be involved in full moon ceremonies in community, I just put the link to the words. I just put them in the chat, Valerie. I hope you can see them. The space.
Oh, it is my friend Valerie that was asking. Okay, because she messaged, and then I was like, or she commented on something on Facebook, and I was like, was that you that asked? Okay, awesome.
Yes, and I don't know, when I post it, then the spacing kind of gets messed up. So you're going to see kind of the words are together. So
how would I see this on here? I'm so good with technology.
Well, you might see private chat and comments on the side of your screen. I don't know if you see that. That's where you would find it.
Oh, I see. Okay.
So my apologies that the words, when you paste them in, the spacing doesn't work. We'll have to work on that, everybody. Anyways, so when I first started to become more connected with going to full moon ceremony and understanding the role that full moon ceremony and the moon can play in our lives, and then I was learning from Grandmother Gail and Grandmother Renee and all the different aunties and knowledge keepers that over the years I've gone to ceremony with, I really started to connect to the idea that Grandmother Moon is always there, and she has these phases that match the phases that match our own cycle as women, our moon time cycle. And often those two cycles don't match up, but sometimes they do. And I started to try to remember when the full moon was. I started to become more aware of it rather than becoming more aware of like the days of the week. Obviously you have to know that for your job and everything, but I started to try to become more in tune with, you know, when the moon was growing and when it was shrinking now, like it's going into a new moon. And I used different teachings from various grandmothers, and then also from websites and people that I followed that followed the moon, not necessarily Indigenous people, just people who have teachings about the energy that the moon gives us. And so, and how we can align ourselves to that energy. And I needed something to kind of remind me because I'm very forgetful. And in order for me to remember something, I have to see it a lot. So a couple of years ago, I made myself this like 8-sided little, it's kind of like a little journal that folds up, and it tells you for each phase kind of the energy that you would that aligns with our Indigenous teaching. So they're all in different fonts because I got them at different times. And as I learn new things, say I go to a ceremony and somebody talks about the new moon and that it's a good time to start a new project, or that, becoming aware of when the new moon and the full moon are, I added it to this little fold out that I have because I'm a teacher and a creator and I need lots of reminders. But this has really helped me because when I'm trying to, at the end of the day, when I'm decompressing, or even at the beginning of the day, sometimes I'll think, what phase is the moon in? And then I think about how I feel. And then I read this and I see if it can line up. And often it does. And it kind of helps me feel like, yes, I'm on the right track, because I can always, her energy always reflects mine, I find, or it empowers me to rest, because a lot of the moon's phases are about resting and I don't rest a lot. And so I'll look at it and I'll say, oh, I'm supposed to rest. Okay, good. I can rest. She gives me that permission. Sometimes I need that, right? And that reminder that the moon is in the resting phase, so I can be in the resting phase, helps me just do less, I guess, and actually rest. Whereas when I am not thinking about that, in our society, we're always on our phones, or we're always go, go, go. And for me, I've always got little things I could be doing. And this allows me to sit and say, you know what? I do need to rest. I do need to just sit, right? As caregivers, like Valerie said, we don't stop a lot. And also, I think as women, sometimes we don't know that we're worthy to stop. I think there's a lot tied up in worthiness, which I was also going to talk about, related to my moon water, which is another thing that many of you probably put water out in the full moon, and then it can capture that energy of the moon. And, so what I do with my moon water is I do put out quite a few jars, and I have this special spot that I always put them in now. And sometimes, I'll think, oh, I'm going to get a drink and I need to get a new glass or whatever. And I'll go, oh, I'm going to get some moon water. And then I think to myself, oh, maybe I should save it. Maybe I should save it for another time. I'm serious. This is what I've done my whole life. I have like markers, coloring books I never used as a kid because I was always saving them for somebody else that was good enough. I figured that out later on, that it was a lot about enoughness, right? And I'm like, oh, this Post-it note is too good to use. And then it loses its stickiness. Like, these are ridiculous things, but it's like says something about our larger way that we think about ourselves, I think. So now the moon water also helps me, because I'll go to get the moon water and then I'll say, well, maybe I shouldn't. Then I say, yes, I should. This moon water, if I want the moon water, there's a reason why I'm being called to want to get it from the shelf rather than go to the tap, because sometimes I just go to the tap. So then I say, yes, I validate myself. I listen to my intuition. I am enough at that moment. And the moon water reminds me that, I am special enough to drink this.
Yeah.
Right. This is for me. I made it. Come on. Like, yeah. Talk ourselves into that it is calling me. So anyways, I just kind of wanted to share that, and to say that when I wrote this down, the first thing is that you're thinking about the moon, right? You read about it, you think about it. To embody it, then I had to write it down and have some kind of physical reminder, like many people have books or different things. This is just handy for me. And I created it with my own hands. So I feel like that also helped me pick up the energy. And then now I look at it and I can embody that energy with these reminders. So that's kind of what I wanted to share when you were talking about emotions. And that's how I really connect with the moon to give me some guidance, right? You can align to the new, offerings that Costco does every 3 weeks, and align to that sale. Because I know a lot of people like Costco new sale, or you can align to this, right? You can align to both.
Yeah.
But I prefer to think about the moon rather than, maybe some other things that people would take their energy away from them, their thoughts away. So anyways, so now I'd like to sing to Grandmother Moon because she does so much for us.
I have a question before you sing your
Yes.
moon song. friend of mine was just telling me recently about the 18th that's coming up in a certain moon phase. I didn't realize that there's phases within phases. So where are we right now? Do you know?
You mean phases within like the 8 phases or the actual 8 phases? We're in the waning crescent. You know, it's almost a new moon, right? The moon is shrinking.
Yeah.
So she's growing smaller. And it's a time of healing. We're supposed to restore our positive energy. It's a great time to organize. And it's a time to rest because the new moon is coming up.
There was a certain name like for that in between transition. I might be able to find it. It's something on the 18th, which is like next or in a couple weeks. We're just, yeah.
Well, the 18th is the full moon.
Is it a full moon on the 18th?
Yes.
Okay, interesting. I gotta find it. I'm so curious.
You let me know.
Okay. Thank you.
No problem. I'll sing and then we can talk some more.
Okay.
All right, here we go. Grandmother moon, keep on shining. Shine your light on me. Shine in the east. Shine in the west. Shine your light on me. Midnight moonlight sparkling on the water. Starlight, moonlight dancing through the trees. Grandmother moon, keep on shining. Shine your light on me. Shine in the east. Shine in the west. Shine your light on me. Midnight moonlight sparkling on the water. Starlight, moonlight dancing through the trees. Can you tell I've been singing Christmas carols all day long with my kindergartens?
Aww.
Oh man, singing it up. So I'm sorry about my voice, but
you don't need to be sorry. You are a music teacher.
Kimberly saying the full moon is December 26th. Val, I'm going to put the words in the chat again. Hopefully you can see them. And you know what? I may be wrong. I know that. Sorry, I'm going by when our full moon ceremony is for TIN, the Indigenous Network here in Peel, and it could be before because I know TIN shuts down. So, Kimberly, I'm sure you're right. Thank you for that. So that's a grandmother moon song and how I use the moon to regulate. So, Josephine, take it away.
Okay. So, if you're just tuning in now, at the beginning of the Jen and Josie show, I shared the Haudenosaunee Thanksgiving address. So if you do have a chance, like if you're just coming on now and you missed it, I would highly recommend for you to watch it because it really helps shift our energy into a state of gratitude. And Jen had shared the Thanksgiving address, a shorter version before, and I really love that. So it's like an on-the-go gratitude. I really need you to send that to me, by the way. So before we came on live, I had told her that it's a little bit long, between 5 and 8 minutes long. And to treat it like a meditation is to close your eyes and, you know, think of everything that I was talking about in here. And it puts me in that state as well, right? So as I share with you, then I'm feeling the stars and I'm feeling the earth and I'm feeling the sun. And sometimes, especially this time of year, while everybody's rushing out, you know, doing their thing, they forget about just stopping and being in the moment and being grounded in appreciation rather than constantly going, like you said. And then, so also with emotions, what I wanted to share, so I don't forget, and then I will share the wolf song. So the last 2 times we were on, I was kind of getting over like a cold and stuff. So sometimes we sing songs that are really soft and gentle, even like a lullaby. And then other songs can be really like have a lot of fire. So when you think of like the masculine and feminine energies that women and men have inside, the water and the fire and that balance of both. If we're too much water and too gentle, then when are we going to speak up and stand in our truth? And then there's the other side of the spectrum where that person is just always so loud and always talking, always annoying. We're like, oh, it's just a bit too much. So to have that balance. So for myself, when I sing, if I sing too many soft, gentle songs, I still have that energy inside of me that needs to come out. And that could be if I'm frustrated at work or whatever it is, driving this time of year, right? So with the wolf song, when I sing it, it's going to be a little bit loud because as I'm learning it, I'm feeling it, I'm visualizing it. We're calling in that wolf energy. When you think of how powerful the wolf is, that's a whole other story, right? But it's basically about humility. And when you bring in that wolf and then you send it back, it's, to me, it's kind of similar to the bear song and that medicine song. So when we call in that spirit bear and she does that healing work and then we send the bear back. For the wolf song, I feel like protection. That's the main thing that comes to me when I sing it. And a friend of mine heard me sing it as I was learning it. And he had said that it reminded him of a mosh pit. And I was like, wow, that's pretty intense. So I hope you guys enjoy it. So before I sing the wolf song, and I wanted to talk about emotions, not every single emotion that we have, from despair to enlightenment, if that's a thing. But let's say from despair to bliss and joy. And joy would be whatever, like spending time with your family, eating fruitcake and just looking at the beauty of everything and being in appreciation that you have a home, that you have clean water, and just that bliss, right? Or despair of like having people, a lot of people die, or losing our job, or friendships that fade away, or a car breaking down, and all those challenges that we go through individually and collectively. To navigate those emotions, it's like it's golden for what I've learned over the years. And Sherry, one of my really good friends, my bestie, has had a lot of training and classes and experience with emotions and read a lot of books. So when we do our sharing circles, we like to share those things that we learned. So I think it's really important to feel what you feel rather than, so for example, everybody, if Jen was having a bad day because she stubbed her toe and she's like, even swearing and really upset, I'm like, oh, just cheer up. You're going to be fine. No, feel what you feel. You're angry. You're pissed off. Feel it. But what I'm talking about is we don't have to stay in that emotion, because when we stay there, that's, I think, when we manifest like more illness and stuff like that. And that's not a really good way to be for too long, because then you're not in balance and harmony with yourself and all things. So we can feel what we feel, but we can choose a better feeling emotion. So I just have a few here that I like to talk about. So I'm going to start off with angry, since I just mentioned that one. So it's okay to be angry. We don't have to cheer up. We don't have to not be angry. It's okay, because that's one of those human emotions that we have. So as you're feeling that, you can pause and then you can think clearly. So let's just say I was angry because I misread a text message. There's no emotion in a text, and there's a lot of misunderstandings in text messages. So I could be like, whoa, have a nice day. They say, have a nice day, or have a nice day, right? I don't know. I could be like, wow. Or I could just like pause, think clearly, and I can become rational before I respond to that instead of reacting. Like messaging back, no, you have a nice day, or TTYL, talk to you later, right? So that pause, we check ourselves, right? The next thing is overwhelmed. And it was really interesting because it's like sometimes I'm overwhelmed, but I don't always share everything with everybody if I'm having a bad day or if I'm overwhelmed, because I figure it out. But it's really important when I jotted this down that I need to do this. So if we're overwhelmed, we can just write down those tasks that we need, and we spend a lot of time and energy on different things. I need to do this, I need to do that. And then again, the next day, oh, I really need to do this and that. And then the next week and the next month. And it's like, oh, but you don't need to be hard on yourself. You just write down those tasks and then prioritize them. And then you can focus on, I don't know what I wrote there. But yeah, you can just prioritize it, an ABC list. A as most important, B, you can get the gist. Okay, another feeling of insecure. You can work on appreciating and accepting yourself, your flaws and all. We're not perfect, and we're not trying to be perfect, right? So you're feeling insecure, that's okay. But just really appreciate and accept yourself, all of yourself. Another feeling of being rejected. So we don't want to let that consume us. And we can redirection I have. So I think if we accept ourselves and we feel rejected by somebody else, that doesn't mean that we don't have self-worth. Like when you were talking about worthiness, that's how we feel. So it doesn't matter if we're rejected by somebody else. It just trust the universe, right? Or whatever happened in that instance. So it's really important about how we feel about ourselves, right? And then I have two more before I sing the wolf song. Discouraged. So if we're feeling discouraged, we can be kind to ourselves and remind why we are trying something and use that as our strength. So it's another normal emotion. We're not always going to be happy. We're not always going to be joyful because we're not supposed to. That's kind of like, this might trigger some people, but when I learned like the yoga and the Reiki and the Qigong, there was like the whole new age movement where you got to be happy all the time and positive. And that's a spiritual bypassing. You're not feeling what you're feeling. You're just like, ooh, don't judge that. And ooh, be happy. No, you feel it and then release it. Sit with that emotion, feel it, release it. So if you're feeling discouraged, you can just be more kind to yourself. And then the last one, anxious. So anxiety and depression is now an epidemic with over 700 pharmaceuticals to help people. But what if we just took a deep breath and just became in the present moment, right? And then control the mind and appreciate. So say I'm like, oh my God, I got to be on this live. Oh, my internet isn't working. Oh, my fairy lights don't work. Oh, I got some other fairy lights. Where's my water? Where's my drum? I could just be like, you work well under pressure, Joe. This is fine, right? And then you just figure it out and it works out. So that taking that deep breath when you're anxious, it's going to regulate your nervous system. And then what came to me was juniper tea. That helps your central nervous system. So rather than people being in a constant state of being anxious and then leading to a panic attack or depression, to take that deep breath, be grounded in the moment, think of wonderful things like the Haudenosaunee Thanksgiving address, to appreciate the water, the earth, the enlightened teachers like Jen, like Grandmother Renee, like Gail Whitlow, like Alan Jameson Sr., Jackie Levante, Marie Jones, all these wonderful elders that are just a message away for us. And if they're not, write in the chat. There's many Grandmother's Voice videos with many teachings from these elders that when you're feeling sad, lonely, guilty, shameful, whatever you're feeling, whatever life has dealt you and how you're feeling, they're here to help us. So I'm going to sing the wolf song now. Did you want to add anything to those emotions? You want to share anything?
No, I think you did a great job. Thank you for all the ideas. I'm going to put the wolf song lyrics in the chat again for everybody.
Okay. I'm going to stand and I'm going to turn the light off. And how are we doing for time? Want to go like another 10 minutes?
Yeah. We'll just maybe do one song after this and then.
Okay.
Yeah.
Is that too dark?
No, it looks great.
Oh, okay. All right.
was beautiful. Thank you. What are you laughing about?
Because I felt the energy of it. And it's like sometimes when we sing these songs, it will take us, even when you listen to it, and it's just takes a moment. It's clearing. So it brought me back to my pure essence of joy, the spirit within.
Yeah, voices and the drum are powerful instruments,
Yes.
right? To move energy, to move the energy around, to take the energy in. You know, the drum reminds us of our mother's heartbeat, right? So it's very connecting, and it's always emotional when we hear it. It does something to us. So thank you.
You're welcome.
There was a little bit of talk in the chat about when the full moon is, and I'm pretty sure the new moon is coming next week on the 13th, and that's the last moon of the, I guess, indigenous moon cycle. And it's our big, I want to say big spirit. I think. Let me double check.
We had
Yeah,
the
big spirit
harvest.
moon.
The last one was the harvest.
This is the little spirit moon now. We're going into big spirit moon before we start the next year, I guess, of moons. And so the new moon is on the 13th and the full moon is the 26th. And I think I had that date because of the 18th, because that's when Tin is doing theirs. But yes. So shall we do one more song to close?
Yes.
And this is our 4th time together, Josephine.
Ah,
It feels like more,
it does.
doesn't it?
Yeah. You could say Jose.
Jose.
People that just meet me, they'll switch from Josephine to Josie to Josie to Jose. Meeting me the first day, they'll be like, "Hey, Jose." And I'm like, how do people know that? It's the weirdest thing, but cool.
You make people feel comfortable. They know.
Thanks. I
It's your
heard
energy.
that.
It's your energy.
I'm down to earth.
Yeah.
The chill vibe.
Yes, I love that.
What would you like to sing?
I don't know. Do you want to do the love song or Strong Woman?
I would like you to sing a song that has something to do with emotion. It doesn't have to be a native song. Like the one that you sing about
The Woman Am I, that one?
I do like that one. But the other one that you sing where we drum on each other's drums.
The Beautiful? How can anyone ever tell you?
Yeah, how about you do two and I do two?
Love that.
Okay.
I'll go first.
Okay.
So this is a song that was written by Libby Roderick. Oh, and then somebody said, and then the love song.
Oh, okay. Then if they want it, then they get it. But they have to guess my lucky number.
Your lucky number.
Oh my favorite color.
Yes. And this
then they can have. What if they don't guess one of those two? Then they'll just have to wait for 2 weeks.
4. They said 4.
No.
Well, they're gonna keep guessing, so I'll let you know in a minute. All right, let's do the How Could Anyone, and then we'll do the love song.
Okay.
Oh, and they're saying green or red. What's your favorite?
Red.
They got it. See? There you go. How could anyone ever tell you you were anything less than beautiful? How could anyone ever tell you you were less than whole? How could anyone fail to notice that your loving is a miracle? How deeply you're connected to my soul. How could anyone ever tell you you were anything less than beautiful? How could anyone ever that your loving is a miracle. How deeply you're connected to my soul.
How could anyone ever tell you you were anything less than beautiful? How could anyone ever tell you you were less than whole? How could anyone fail to notice that your loving is a miracle? How deeply you're connected to my soul. How could anyone ever tell you you were anything less than beautiful? How could anyone ever tell you you were less than whole? How could anyone fail to notice that your loving is a miracle? How deeply you're connected to my soul.
Beautiful, Miigwech.
I could start the love. And
Sure, I was thinking that too.
And you can end it?
Yeah, and I'll put the word, I typed the words to that love song. So go ahead and I'll put it in the chat.
Okay. Way high, way ho, way high, way ho, way high, way ho, way high, way ho, way high. Way high, way ho, way high. Way high, way ho, way high. Way high, way ho, way high, way ho, way high, way ho, way high, way ho, way high. Way high, way ho, way high. Way high, way ho, way high.
Way high, way ho, way high, way ho, way high, way ho, way high, way ho, way high, way high, way ho, way high. Way high, way ho, way high. Way high, way ho, way high, way ho. Way high, way ho, way high, way ho, way high. Way high, way ho, way high. Way high, way ho, way high.
Thank you. Anything else in the chat? I don't have the chat.
Everybody's just sending lots of love.
Oh, that's nice. It worked. Okay. Well, thank you, everybody. And thank you, the amazing Jen. I'm so grateful for
Thank
to
you.
share my life with you and my every other Thursday. I'm very grateful to Grandmother's Voice and the opportunity to share our teachings and our love, especially this time of year. It's not all sunshine and rainbows for some of us. Personally, I miss my mom. She died a long time ago, but I still try to, keep my head up. But I feel what I feel, like as we talked about emotion. So, I think in the next 2 weeks, Jen has a prior engagement, right?
On the solstice, yeah, I have ceremony that night.
Okay. And yeah, so I will still do it and I'll just kind of wing it. I will miss you. You will be missed because we're a team, but you have the beautiful solstice and that's amazing energetic time as well. So I just want to say thank you to everybody and be careful driving and make sure that you got air in your tires and windshield washer fluid and check your oil.
Yes. And somebody asked where we're from. I'm in Mississauga and you are in...
I'm in
St.
an
Catharines,
undisclosed...
right? Oh, but you're around St. Catharines somewhere?
I'm in the St. Catharines area, and my roots are from Six Nations. I am Onondaga, Turtle Clan. My native name is Gagaista, and I love the Anishinaabe teachings of truth, love, respect, honesty, courage, humility, and wisdom, and just to be in that state of gratitude and peace and harmony and balance. I love the teachings of all cultures that are positive and inspiring, So that's where I'm from. That's not where I grew up. That's a whole other story, But we'll have different themes every other week, and we'll try our best to bring some peace and love and harmony to you guys.
Yes, and please make sure you check out Grandmother's Voice. There's a couple of events coming up with our healer, Dennis Windigo. And
do you have any dates for any of those or any flyers?
They're on the Facebook, so people can head over to see them on there.
Or
Dennis
maybe
is doing a bunch of dates. Oh,
okay, Andrea just put that up. Andrea, if you want, we've already said our goodbyes and stuff. I'm not sure if Jen wants to add anything else, but if you have any flyers you want to put up there, I'm good with that.
Yeah, so miigwech everyone, and thanks for tuning in, and we'll see you soon. Bamapi. Thanks, Andrea.
Bye.